Why do you think it happens?
Society accepts drinking in general. What happens when someone gets promoted? Hey, we're going out having drinks. Holiday party. Hey, wine, drinks, wedding, birthday parties. Everyone, like, it's a culture.
This is gonna hurt. It's time for the Suffering Podcast.
I never got deployed. I was in right during 9/11, and I was enrolled in college full time. I was about ready to get out, and I just was speaking about this the other day. I'm sitting at my desk working, and the next thing you know, we're checking out our war gear, flak jacket. We're doing 24/7 security. Like, the whole base was on lockdown. We're doing perimeter checks, vehicles checks, pat downs of people. Like, no one knew what was happening next. Like, this country, there was planes, like, crashing all over the country pretty much. And so yeah, I was on base security, on lockdown, but I never did get deployed.
You're almost better off because
It's
But I
can't change it.
But I imagine there was a part of you that was ready to, like, you didn't join the Marines to cook food, like you said.
No, no. I can't change what happened. I would have gone anywhere they sent me, and I did whatever. I mean, it was a stressful time even after 9/11. Like, here I am.
Yeah, absolutely.
They thought our base, the Mississippi River, the mouth of the Mississippi River, and billions of dollars go through there on boats, and we thought there was going to be, like, they were going to blow up. Just imagine all the boats coming up, like, up the Mississippi River, bringing goods from down south all the way up north. So they thought there could have been, like, something going on around there. So
nobody knew.
Yeah.
Nobody knew. Like, we had ADP, and something as small as that. We had ADP, which that plant processed like most of the East Coast paychecks.
Yeah.
We were watching that.
Yeah.
Because we were thinking, okay, well, that's a high value target.
Yeah.
They blow up, paycheck shut down, shuts down our economy.
Yeah.
And then you're telling me you got billions and billions of dollars running through the Mississippi. Makes sense.
barges heading up, and they want to shut down the economy, whatever.
Cut off the supply.
Yeah. So yeah, like, I remember, like, we checked out our war gear, M16, and I was like, damn, like, it wasn't every day we ran.
This shit's getting real.
Yeah, we didn't have ammunition in our rifles at all times, unless, like, we evacuated. It's crazy. I was on the hurricane disaster platoon, and they evacuated the city. I was staying back protecting the base too. So
wow.
Yeah, they evacuated a couple times, and I left of less than a year of before Katrina. I would have been down there.
What was the transition like? When did you? Was there any plan on re-upping? What was the?
No, man.
You were done?
No,
one and done?
One staff NCO kind of, like, gave me a bad taste in my mouth about it, and I was like, no, I'm all good. And plus, I knew I didn't want to deploy all the time and make a career of it. I wanted to, come back home, and I ended up going to college. And actually, like, college is where, my big, tragedy came from.
GI Bill?
I did use the GI Bill. I went to a small school, Eastern Connecticut State University, commuting to school, bartender, working at a yacht club up in near the ocean, like, upscale yacht club, just making money part-time, and, going to school full-time, business degree, and going out and having fun like every other college kid.
The transition from ultra discipline to now you got some freedom.
Yeah.
How did you navigate those waters?
What, like, from the military back to civilian world?
Yeah.
Oh man, I carried a lot of those, with me into the civilian world. Took everything very seriously. Like I said, when I was in high school, I wasn't ready for college. Like now, like, when the discipline in the Marines, instilled in me, and I took college very seriously. I had fun during college, but I never missed a class. Like, I pride myself in never missing a class and putting in the work, and I think it was a normal transition. Nothing really sticks out as far as,
I barely made a class. That's why I'm not. That's
So yeah.
That's why I'm here.
So I paid for my college. That's the only thing that kept me going to class. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I miss a class, and I did the math in my head. I'm like, I'm losing that much.
Yeah,
money.
no, I was getting paid by the GI Bill. I was having fun and bartending and doing pretty well in college. I knew I wanted to, work in business. I was always told, you should get into sales, you should do this and that. So business was kind of, the path that I chose.
But bartending has some benefits
and some drawbacks.
Yeah.
I know this from bouncing. Mike can attest to this as well, from bouncing and bartending.
Yeah.
One for you, one for me.
See, I wasn't really big in, like, I wasn't really big into that. Back in the day, I didn't drink really much at work. It was when I went out and had fun with my friends. You know,
Yeah.
like I was in college and single and going out and having fun. And UConn just won the national championship. UConn was like less than 15 minutes away from where I went to college, and so it was like
Done.
like my Division III school. Yeah, this is all right. You know, like. But UConn, yeah, that's way more fun. And when I was in the Marines, I was stationed in New Orleans, Louisiana. So you want to talk about a kid coming from a small town in Connecticut and then going down Bourbon Street? I'm like, and I lived there the whole entire time. Yeah. And I'm like, we're going out Monday, Tuesday, went every night. And like, yeah, just drinking down there is a whole.
It's a whole different ball game.
It's like we would grab like a daiquiri. Like up here, we grab a coffee in the morning. Mm-hmm. We're going to a drive-through daiquiri shop to like.
I heard about those.
No shit.
I've heard about them.
Oh my God. Like we would wake up and go to the daiquiri shop. That would be the first thing.
I've been in New Orleans twice. And when you wait to check into the hotel, they have complimentary hurricanes, which was a big red
hand grenades, hurricanes, you name it. So here I am. Like I was like New Orleans, Louisiana. So that sort of mentality I carried up to Connecticut with me when I was going to college. You know, like my buddies would pick me up at the airport with like, we used to call it a roll pop bag, you know, like
it's a road soda.
Soda. So we'd have like a cooler of beers and we'd like go like pick them up from the airport and have a few drinks on the way home. And that's just the mentality we had.
But think about that drive-through service.
They don't take the top off the straw. That's the law. So you know that little portion that your server leaves
so
on
you
your
take
drink?
the top off when you get home. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
sure. It's driving under the influence if you take the top off the straw. Yeah.
Open container because the top's off the straw.
But isn't the world trying to advocate for not drinking and driving? And there you go, picking it up.
Well, listen,
it's foreign
up in Pittsburgh, they have these like beer warehouses where you pull your car right in. The guy says, "What do you need? Give me like 2 cases of that, 2 cases of that." You put them right in your car for it and you pull out.
We got to talk to Bernie. One of our supporters, Bernie O'Brien. He lives in Pittsburgh and he's an interesting character. That's probably the reason why they do it, because they don't want him in a store.
Exactly.
Yeah, they just try to keep him outside of the store.
Yeah.
So, like in a normal day, going out with your friends, what was the normal drink capacity?
Like on a night out, like 10, 12 beers, you know, like 10 to 12 beers and like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not really a big heavy drinker. That shit came out later. Now I don't drink, and the whole IPA, heavier beer shit, that's really, I was like Coors Light. That's all I ever drank, and like mostly water or whatever. But yeah, we'd probably have like 10, 12 drinks a night and be like nothing, you know.
But it was never a problem, right?
Making the bad decision, drinking and driving, just, you know, we took turns, you know, we live in the sticks of Connecticut, going out, you know, we live by 2 big casinos as well. And that's what we would do, and go out, have fun. And
that's Foxwoods, right?
Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun. I live literally like 15, 20, 25 minutes between the both of them, you know, like they're very close. And we grew up in the sticks, and that's the only thing to do is to go to the casinos or go up to UConn. So
the American Indians got it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
They suffered a little bit recently, but it's coming around. So yeah, I made the selfish and poor decisions. And my friends and I, we would always drink and drive, and
because it becomes normal.
Yeah, you do it once.
You don't think about it.
Yeah. I always use the example. It's like, once you get away with something once and twice, it's like trained behavior. It's, you know, oh, I did it once, I did it twice, and like nothing ever will happen to me. And,
that's the worst thing. The worst thing that could ever happen is you get away with it.
Yeah, exactly. You get caught the first time, you're never going to do it again.
See, like you guys, here I now am as we get a little bit more into my story, and I'll talk. Like first time pulled over, 1 year in prison, no attorney, no
in Connecticut. What?
Bam. No, I'm saying that's what should be.
To change the laws.
First time, bam. You're not even getting a phone call. You're not even getting an attorney. You're getting right out of your car, going to prison for a year. Like
send a message.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's all about money.
There's an interesting question for you that, you know, if you knew the consequences of drunk driving are well documented or well documented, but most people don't think about them. But they all know that drinking and driving is bad.
They don't think about it until it happens to them.
Exactly.
Why do you think it happens?
Society accepts drinking in general. What happens when someone gets promoted? Hey, we're going out having drinks. Holiday party. Hey, you know, wine, drinks, wedding. birthday parties, everyone, like, it's a culture. It's the part of American culture. You know, alcohol is a society accepted thing. And, you know,
I always laugh during Prohibition, doctors used to give out prescriptions. Sounds a little familiar. Used to give out prescriptions for alcohol so people could drink. It's like, yeah, I got post-traumatic stress, so I can have a prescription for alcohol. But it sounds a little parallel to what's going on now.
Yeah.
With the marijuana.
Yeah. I don't know. I think society accepts alcohol. It's such huge shoved in people's faces. And also a lot of people are insecure and don't have the confidence, you know, after having a few drinks, and that
you get that lube going.
Now they all start, you're in a bar and now you just start talking to anybody.
Oh, yeah.
A couple drinks later.
So you say people always know the consequences of,
they don't know the full consequences. They know, here's what they know. If I get pulled over when I'm drunk and I'm driving, I'm going to lose my license.
Lose my license, get an attorney, get it back, go through a few classes, whatever. Hey, no big deal. So that's an awesome topic that you talk. So I said, like, 1 year, like, I don't give a shit. You know, you need to feel the pain.
Mm-hmm.
People, human beings don't make a change until they feel the pain. And that's
absolutely,
it's like, you get slapped on the hand a couple times. Oh, that doesn't hurt. But, like, bam, you get the belt from your mom or dad, and you're going to feel the pain, and you won't do that shit again.
Well, I mean, that's with any crime now. You know, with bail reform and everything, nobody's getting in trouble anymore.
No.
Yeah.
So they have this bail reform. They give you a slap on the wrist. You're back on the street, and they're committing the same crimes again.
Yeah.
So you got to think through the consequences of your actions. And it's not until some tragedy strikes where you're like, and that's usually the way every decision goes in life. Like you do a little thing here or a little thing there, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
When you get spanked hard, now all of a sudden you learn your lesson.
The whip got cracked on me for sure.
And you learned a very, very difficult lesson.
Yes, sir.
So talk to me about the fateful night that we're obviously here to talk about the suffering of drunk driving.
Yeah.
Which is sort of the crux of your story.
Yeah, part of it for sure. Like I said, my lifestyle in the Marines, going out New Orleans, partying, having fun. I carried that up to, you know, Connecticut, going out bars, you know, doing great in school, but making the same poor decisions I was making, you know, in New Orleans. And went out one night. I remember whatever I can, kind of through friends and whatever memory I have. It was cold as shit. Like, I remember it was like one of them wicked cold days in February. We had got a few inches of snow the night before, warmed up, and I never had class on Friday. And I was out the night before, slept at my buddy's place up Thursday, big night to go out. We went out. So I worked out all the time at the gym, in my local gym, and I saw my friend Rich at the gym. We had always talked about going out, but his part-time schedule with his work and school, like, never lined up until he's like, hey, man, what are you doing tonight? I'm like, oh, we're going up to UConn. He's like, no shit. And this was the first week back of college, my last semester. I'm like, here I am, a high school kid that, like, drank in parking lots and, like, went out in the fields and had fun, going house party. Like, I'm about to graduate college. I'm like, there's no freaking way. Like, that's kind of a big deal, you know, like, for me. So, yeah, we're excited and went out, and he's like, come pick me up. I'm going to my friend's birthday party, and I'll go out with your friends. This was our rival town, you know, like, high school football, like, that's huge. And like, it's like, you know, varsity blues type shit, you know,
exactly.
Plainfield, Griswold, we hated each other. And then as we got older, we became friends, and he was from our rival town and a popular group of friends. And I told him I'd pick him up at the birthday party. So I went home, showered, and I was getting ready, and I'm walking out the door, and my mom's like, Michael, be careful. The roads might get icy later. I'm like, yeah, Ma, whatever.
Which is a question that every parent has said to their kid. I used to turn around to my parents and go, I'm glad you reminded me of that, because I was going to be fucking reckless. I was going to do everything wrong. You know,
See, my parents never said, like, oh, who's going to be driving? Like, it's just like, you know, it was what we did. It's like, unfortunately, yes, they hated the fact that I did it. They probably told me not to do it, but she just said, be careful, it's going to be icy. I'll never forget those words. And here I am walking out the door, you know, and go pick up a 12-pack of beer, go to the birthday party, pick up my friend Rich, drop his car off at his parents' house, and we stop at my other buddy's house, and we're just heading up to UConn, man, like, me and 4 or 5 of my friends, and going out, dancing, drinking beers, and close the bar out. 2 a.m. is nothing to someone that's been in New Orleans for quite a few. 2 a.m. is
where next?
Yeah,
it's a
exactly.
24-hour town.
Like, what, like, party on the campus of UConn are we going to next? But like, anyways, we closed the bar out, and I remember it was like freezing cold, and dropped off my friend at Eastern.
What year? What year was this?
2005.
2005.
So
okay.
2005. I'm in my senior year of college, about ready to graduate. Can't even freaking believe it, to be honest. And heading home, and I live in the sticks, like literally the sticks. And
people don't think Connecticut's the sticks, but they got some rural areas.
Yeah,
with the windy roads,
and
hills.
Yeah.
Trees right on top of the roads. Like literally, the roots are like pushing up the road from where, like, not like out here, man. Nothing like it out here. So I had driven almost an hour already home, like back from UConn, less than 15 minutes on my way home. Coming down the hill around a corner, my car hits a patch of black ice. I lose control. I'm driving, and I remember, like, it's crazy how everything happened that night. Like, I shouldn't be sitting in this chair. Like, I didn't have my seatbelt on. I always wore my seatbelt. I didn't like the shirt that I was wearing. I borrowed my buddy's shirt. Like, I was a little bit of a
fashionista,
a little bit of a metro. Metro. I'd have like my shirt hanging up, and not that bad, man. Like, but no, I took care of myself. I like to look good, and I didn't like my shirt. I wasn't feeling it, so I grabbed his, and I went inside, used the bathroom, and never strapped my seatbelt on afterwards. And Rich was sitting in the front seat, hit a tree. I get ejected 20 feet from the vehicle, no seatbelt. Snow, 6 inches of snow on someone's front yard. And it was a kid actually coming home from a date. He was out.
You were knocked out at this point, yeah.
Unconscious.
Yeah.
Laying in, my car was still running. I'll never forget, the Game CD had just came out. It was blaring. The Game. I'm a little into hip hop and R&B. That shit was blaring. And
it's okay. We won't hold it against you.
It's all good, man.
But before you go any further.
Yeah.
Before you go any further. We're just about out of time for this week. So I hate to do this to our audience, but I'm going to ask you a question. Would you be willing to come back next week?
I know it's a little bit of a hike, but
because I think this is about to get real freaking dark.
Absolutely, Kevin.
I want to devote the proper amount of time to it.
100%, and it would be an honor to be able to come back here again.
All right, so that's going to do it for this episode. This is just going to be part 1. We're going to break this up into part 2.
Yeah, there's too much to get into, too.
Yeah, we just
right here.
I'm not even going to do what we learned because I didn't even learn anything yet. So that's going to do it for this episode of the Suffering Podcast. Don't forget, go to popple.com, get yourself a free digital business, or not a free, I said it again, a digital business card, put in TSP20 for a 20% discount. Follow us on all social media, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn. Follow Mike at Mike_Failace. Follow me at Real Kevin Donaldson. Of course, follow the Suffering Podcast. And don't forget, you can always listen before you watch. Don't forget to ring the bell. We're on the race to 10,000.
And comment. Let's get some comments on there. We enjoy comments. Good, bad, indifferent.
We always answer those comments. So we're going to see you to wrap this because it's about to get real serious in here. We'll see you on the next episode.